The Chinese Student Club fashion show isn't open just to Chinese people. It's based on merit, it's based on skill, it's based on your creativity as a human being, and that clearly has nothing to do with the cultural background necessarily. CSC throws they throw multiple events every year. One of their most famous events is the Lunar Gala Cultural Showcase. Generally, it involves a variety of different elements of both traditional and modern Chinese cultures. This year, each scene in the show, in the fashion show, will focus on a certain era in Chinese history. I'll be directing scene 2 for the show. Is approximately the turn of the 20th century, around the 1900s into the 1920s, almost 30s. So more or less the time period in which the West starts to heavily influence and enter into the East and China as a culture and a country. Obviously it's a fashion show, so we're supposed to be showing the beauty and the elegance that is associated with the time period, but in reality it's a very turbulent politically and socially time period. Last year I walked in Lunar Gala. I was really strongly inspired by the director I had last year, Karina, who's now my coordinator this year. The creativity, the organization, and the energy, those three things together, I think make a really good director. It really inspired me to try my own hand at directing this year. Until this day of the show, we have approximately 4 rehearsals left with the girls. I always tell them to be pulled on a string. Imagine that you're being walked as a puppet and you're being pulled on a string from the top of your head, and you have to carry that posture and not let your head leave that. In high school, I had a little bit of modeling experience. I was recruited when I was 14 in Mexico to do some modeling, but unfortunately, when I was scouted, I was still very small. I didn't grow anymore after the age of 17, unfortunately. So I was never taken up for runway. I do a lot of listening to music. I generally put together a lot of playlists, and every now and then I'll just do some mixes or just kind of, I really like fusion, musical fusions, so kind of once again building off of that interest for seeing how cultures express themselves. Even when I'm walking, like I just imagine of a beat that would go to my like rhythm of walking and stuff like that. For the music for my scene, I'm looking particularly at this group called the Shanghai Restoration Project, and it literally sounds like what the title is. They're a group who takes music that historically has come out of Shanghai. So this duo, this contemporary group, now their task is to remake these old songs to sound modern on better instruments and better recording materials. I'm nervous, but I'm pretty excited.